So if somebody would like to do the recap for me from either Hadar or Doc.
Thing I remember. Shit things happened to Tynus. Had a little bit of a private adventure with a vampire. In the beginning, he had like a strange kind of dream where he had some crazy talk to everyone involved. Later on, we journeyed to the town of Daggerford, was it then? So yeah, we started in Daggerford and everything. Everyone just did their own things. Like, I mean, some guys needed a new caravan. Tynus switched his caravan, and also the biggest thing I remember is that he went on an adventure at night. So he went to investigate some wagons. In the end, he tried to run away from the guards saw him doing it, and he tried to run away from them. Yeah, but he didn't get away from them, and he told them that the wagon was from the dragon cult. Turned out the guard was not a friend of him and was also part of the dragon cult, and took him as a prisoner. So what happened next is that he was sent into prison, and in prison a vampire turned him into a vampire and helped him escape from the prison. Yeah, and I think did we already leave the town? I think I don't know if I missed something. That's the main parts
Now
I
we haven't
remember.
left just yet. We've kind of saved that for this time. Um, there's also a couple more people who got new wagons, though Tynus didn't actually switch wagons.
I think Tynus is the one who did not.
Wait, who did it? It was a dog?
I feel like Hadar, Doc, and Vicious all got a new wagon.
Yeah, but I know someone already had a wagon and just ditched
Vicious.
them. Ah, it was Wishes. Yeah.
That's gonna be awkward. Hey, why aren't you guarding
Yeah.
us? Nah.
Wishes can just take money from both.
False.
Yeah, I'm sure that will not. I'm sure that will work.
So you can
But
have inspiration on Hadar for doing the recap for us. You have indeed left Daggerford. You guys are basically on the road the more you've left.
Hey, what's the inspiration do? I can't remember.
I'm hesitant to ever give you inspiration because it is a chance to re-roll a d20.
Oh, I already get that, so it's kind of pointless.
No, it's not pointless. It just stacks in a different way.
It's like a one-time thing, though, or it's while you're like inspired, or
Single use.
it's still pretty good.
yeah, I'm just gonna write it down so I do not remember to use it.
There
Do not
is
forget to use it. Yeah.
there is a little spot for inspiration on the top right of your player sheet inside of D&D Beyond that you can click, keep track of it. Right next to
Yeah,
your
it's
Oh
right
yeah.
next to your walking speed.
Yeah. Thank you. I see it.
It looks like a sun. Very apropos for Tynus.
So I think my coffee is finished brewing. I'm going to grab that, and then we can jump back into this in just a second here.
I'm gonna be right back too. I have to go take my multivitamin.
Doc, you have to be prepared for next week to do the recap.
And I'm back.
What did you go do?
Take a multivitamin.
Oh, I heard something about a Volkswagen, and it didn't make any sense at all.
No.
Classical morning routine. Just take your Volkswagen.
Yeah, let me unhinge my jaw and swallow this Volkswagen. I need more iron in my diet.
That's what we call breakfast in Germany. Classical iron. Always.
Alrighty. My bad. Started the coffee a little bit late today.
No problem.
Oh, sorry, Jan. I heard you say something right as I ran away for a sec there, but I didn't hear what it was.
Yeah, I said you have to be preferred for next. Yeah, it's for the recap next week. Prepared, yeah, that was.
Oh,
the word.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Alrighty, so leaving Daggerford. It is October the 20th. About halfway through summer for you all, I believe. Yeah, that's actually a fall, I feel like. So you all are leaving Daggerford. It would be a somewhat chilly morning, heading out of the town on your respective wagons. Does anyone have anything that they intend to get accomplished on this immediate morning outside of Daggerford?
I just want to know what my cart owner is transport. I want to ask him what he's transporting with his cart.
A merchant
Yeah, I think
for
you said. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
I'm a merchant for the trade organizations. I travel between different banks, helping them transfer different notes of regard.
Oh, okay. So no food, but I think with the money.
I wouldn't
So
have
so
hired
you're good.
somebody as fat as you if I transferred food. You seem like you would be bad for business.
You sound like someone who knows how to deal with money. I mean, you're yeah yeah yeah. That's always what I want to know. Just what he's transporting.
I will ask the same question.
We're a bit of a textile organization, bringing some fine fabrics from different lands through the areas. Unloaded what I had for the town of Baldur's Gate. Picked up some new wonderful silks. Hopefully we'll make just as good of a profit in Waterdeep with
I'm gonna have Tynus use sending to contact Doc, and he's gonna be trying to send the message. We need to investigate the false heroes while we have the chance.
So do I just like hear voices in my head that I've never heard before? Do I have any idea it's Tynus?
I don't think there's any reason that you wouldn't know it's Tynus.
Yeah, the spell says you'll know who's sending it to you, and you'll be able to respond.
Okay, so I would know I can respond.
Nope, he
Generally,
did not say it, so
All right, so I'll just like sort of acknowledge it, but like look around like strangely and think maybe I had a little too much to drink last night. But I will. Oh, go ahead.
Tynus might hear some mumbles, and essentially the next things that you say, whether it's you talking to your flask, you talking to your cigarette. Cigarettes, I'm going to smoke you now.
Yes, I was talking to the cigarette.
it does say he knows that he can send one back.
Oh, I do. Okay. Yes,
Okay, here, hey. It's my magical world. If you don't tell him that he can send it back, he is not a magical person, and you have not communicated with him with sending yet. He does not know that he can talk back to you.
Fair enough.
So I'll just kind of like go about my business then, but acknowledge that I heard him. But I will approach my new hire and just say, while I do appreciate the opportunity to be at your service, I didn't seem to catch your name there.
Amalia. Pleasure to meet you.
Alia, you say?
Amalia.
Amalia, I apologize. I had a couple of drinks last night and tend to have a little distinction problems with the twang between one human and another. What exactly is it that you're transporting or I'm protecting, just so I could have an idea as to what service I can bring you?
Different that's this and that. Things of value is all you perhaps will need to know. But if you've got a drinking problem, I've got a tincture for that for 4 silver, I could cure that little bit of a cough for you.
I've had many problems, but I wouldn't say drinking is at the top of the list. The cough itself, though, runs deep. I'm not sure that you have a cure for that. Just so I know the priority, though, is my main job to protect your life, your property, or somewhere in between.
Yes.
Okay, I will duly note that as well. Would you care for a drink? I know it's early, but I'd like a little taste of the dog, hair of the dog, whatever they say.
I don't prefer to drink dog, but I've got some different fizzy tinctures that perhaps if I get thirsty I'll enjoy.
Ah, excellent. Maybe I'll take you up on one of those in the future there. Has anyone had any word of Solomon this morning? I'll kind of like look around, realizing that she probably has no idea who Solomon is.
I believe I know all of the people who I've hired, and I don't believe anybody's name starts with a salmon.
Understood. Hopefully, he made it back with the caravan before we get too far down the road. I was expecting him to rendezvous. With that, I would kind of like look around and see if I see Solomon at all.
Interesting. Who is he to you? Are you expecting something from him?
I wouldn't say that I'm expecting anything from anyone at this point in time. Let's just say that we're acquaintances. One might even refer to us as friends.
Awfully valuable to make friends of a mercenary.
Yes, I can't say that I've ever had too many friends, but there's been a couple of situations where you could say, hey, maybe I didn't have quite enough. And then he'll give her a wink.
Don't hesitate to liven the day with any of your stories, but if you need to look around for him, we're close enough to town that you should be able to wander without any problem here. Just keep at least a little bit of an eye as the carts start to move on that nothing in particular happens, and then remember, if anything does, we're the ones that you should be protecting, not him.
Oh, no worries, of course. I'm just going to take a look and see if I see him amongst the group, but it's no worries either way. And know that I'm not always around, so to speak, but I'm always watching. With that, Doc would just take just a little mosey around the caravan as we're departing and see if I see Salomon anywhere.
So it's much larger than it's ever been before. You all picked up, I think it was about 5 or 6 more wagons, with about 20 or 30 more people in Daggerford, including the 3 that 3 of you have joined. But after about 40 or so minutes, you do spot Solomon walking towards the rear of the wagon train, and he is heading off with you all out of Daggerford.
Excellent. Hello, friend. Good to see you again. Wasn't necessarily worried that you hadn't caught up, but glad to see that you have.
And it's a pleasure to see you again.
I see you were able to acquire some fresh goods. Hope everything fell into place as necessary.
Most certainly. Daggerford's one of the nicer locations to find yourself lost in with knots.
Yes, I've heard as much. Found myself in employment of a merchant named Amalia, so I will be around for any cordial conversation, drinking, and gambling as such. Know that I still have your back, but I will be looking out for this one, so I may be a little more scarce. Feel free to join us at any time, though.
About this 40 or so minutes into the day, there is a kind of loud, high-pitched shriek from towards the center of the caravan as you hear a man's voice yelling out, "It's gone! It's gone! Who stole it? Who? Where are you? Give it back to me!"
Tynus will try to look over, but not necessarily approach the situation if he can see it from his point in the train.
Make a perception check for me.
Yeah, Doc would casually wander in that direction, cigarette in hand.
That there's a 22.
Let me get Doc. Let me have just a dexterity check from you. Tynus, you actually are riding just behind this wagon in the train, and you do recognize that this is the wagon that Wait, I don't think you know anything about the story. You recognize a man who's been riding with the group for quite some time from Dragon Spear, I feel like, is when he joined up with everyone. Yeah, I feel like that's one of the wagons from Dragon Spear, and I should note that in the future where they actually joined the wagon train.
I spent a luck point and re-rolled that, so I got a 15 when you're ready.
That's the best kind of luck point that I can imagine. That was for me to figure out how fast you were walking to get back up to them. So it doesn't take you long, like at the pace you're keeping, you kind of walk back up to this area. Let's see. Give me an insight check, Doc.
Of course, in case you haven't noticed, I don't always spend the resources in the best way. 8.
It seems like a familiar enough wagon, just out of thought as to what was going on in this place. You vaguely recognize the person as well, but he seems awfully upset from some sort of missing something, but his personage doesn't seem to be any different than any of your memories. And Tynus, you would have that same thought, like, you remember a lot of details about this person, different times. He doesn't seem to be missing any particular items that you've ever seen him in his traveling clothes. Nothing seems off, but he seems to be kind of patting himself down and just kind of, as he gets a little calmer, it's just like patting himself down, like, it's gone. Where could I have lost it?
Tynus will just sort of nod to Lilu and walk a little faster to speak to this individual. And you'll say, pardon me for interrupting. What exactly did you lose?
Did you take it? Why do you care? It's gone. Did you have it? Give it to me. Give me the ticket.
I have no idea what this ticket might be. I was just asking since the wagon train is going to be moving out, and we wouldn't rather have us moving along with some sort of problem.
It's none of your business. If you don't have it to return to me, give me what is mine. Otherwise, be gone.
Well, I could potentially help you find it. Could you just tell me what exactly this ticket was?
Roll a charisma check for me. Are you prodding about my business? Who are you?
I'm a humble guard of this caravan, and any sort of problems along the caravan is a problem I would like to resolve. So tell me
Well, you
what this
find the
ticket
thief
is.
and you tell me where they are and where my ticket is, and then you can worry about these things. Otherwise, ruined.
A ticket for what? If I know what it is, it'll be easier to find it.
I have no reason to trust you with the level of value that resides in my property. How on earth that you know it is a ticket that I am missing is beyond me, and I think it is absurd to imagine that some good Samaritan would be coming out of the woodworks to help me. It is more than likely that you are the thief. Return it to me now.
Calm yourself. I know it's a ticket because you said it was a ticket, and I
Just
am
the
not a
kind of
good
things that a
Samaritan.
thief would say.
I am no good
Return
Samaritan.
my
I
property
work.
to me. Give it to me. Where is it? And he starts patting you down.
Tynus will just push him away and just be like, I don't have it. I was only trying to help for the sake of the caravan, not you specifically.
Make an acrobatics check.
That's a 15.
He's like reaching through your pockets, but you're deft enough that you're able to kind of keep him out of any of your pockets. But he's clearly searching for something on your person.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep him away from me. Just take a step back so I'm out of reach, and just be like, "If you're not willing to get help, I am not willing to help you." And he'll just start walking back towards the wagon he's supposed to be guarding, but he's keeping an eye on this individual.
Hadar, Vicious, Doc, what's everyone else doing?
As I see Tynus walking away, I will kind of yell out to him. Hey there, how's that old spider bite doing? Those eggs hatched yet?
Tanis will put a hand on his neck and say, "Everything seems to have calmed down. No eggs, no spiders, just a wound probably suffered elsewhere."
As I sort of look him over, how does he look? How's his neck look?
He looks paler than you have ever seen him before. His neck doesn't seem to have any issues at all at this point.
Well, can agree that your neck looks a little better, but I'm not gonna lie, friend. You look like shit.
I've never felt better, but I acknowledge that my appearance may be subpar going forward. It's nothing you need to worry about. What was your name again?
They call me Doc, and for the record, I'm not worried, but I'll keep my eye on what we discussed and sort of give him a wink about his message earlier.
Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate that going forward. For now, I have a wagon to guard, and he will
No worries.
intentionally say the name wrong and go back to his wagon.
Okay, and with that, Doc will sort of like mosey on his way.
Hadar, Vicious, any thoughts?
Nope.
Well, I want to look around the old man who got something stolen, and I want to see who's around him. Are there any people around him besides Tynus?
There's a few people from the wagon that he was riding on that seem to be kind of keeping their distance as he loses his shit. But give me a perception check. Something about the wagon just seems familiar to you. You vaguely recall a conversation with Vicious about it, but your face starts to hurt and you just can't recall. And for everyone, I can't even give you hooks, Vicious, because this is the wagon you were supposed to knock over, and this is the wagon that Radisir stole from. You're
Okay.
the one person who had her point out the wagon, and you've not told anybody about the fact that she pointed out the wagon for you to steal from. You didn't share it with Hadar. Hadar vaguely knows the slightest bit of information about this hook.
Yeah, I just have fun.
Sorry. All I got out of that was, protect the wagon, and so I was trying to get people to go away from the wagon. And yeah, it never occurred to me.
Nobody in the party knows that this is the person that Radisir stole from.
So is there any way for us to retcon that and make me more competent?
Nope. At this point, the party does not know what is going on. I am telling you as the players because I am trying to get you, for when I give you a hook, to at very least attempt to interact with it.
Okay.
Because if you don't interact with it, you can't share it with the party, and if you don't share it with the party, they can't know anything about it.
Okay.
So, the morning continues on as the wagon goes forward. Tynus, you are riding behind this man. He seems distraught through the rest of the day. Hands in his face. That's an interesting one. Face in his hands. He's kind of just like staring off at the ground. He looks broken like a child who lost his favorite toy, and seems just absolutely distraught, though he has quieted down and has stopped yelling. The day continues on.
As the day goes on, are the heroes of Greenus acting any differently now that we've left Daggerford?
In what way? What are you looking for?
Before, they were boastful and boisterous about their adventures and sort of pretending to be the everyone's favorite hero party situation. I'm wondering if now that we've left a major city, are they being that same sort of, boastful and boisterous people, or have they calmed their act down in any way?
Let me get an insight check from you. So
Oh, that's a 23.
most of what, yeah, I bought another monitor, so I have 3 screens going. You shouldn't have to call stuff out anymore. I believe I can see everything that I need. Like
Gotcha.
9 windows that I have open. So you all are essentially aware that most days the heroes of Greenest have not necessarily acted all that weird or boisterous. Most of what they've done is doing more to charm people in the off time. So at this point in the day, they more or less kind of blend in with everything else that's going on. They might have a little bit more extravagant of clothing. They don't wear traveling clothes quite like everybody else does. But in general, they blend in pretty well during the day. Most of what you've seen them doing that's extraordinary is the way they go about their evenings. So it's a little early in the day to get much of an actual different feeling on how they act. But in general, they seem to be enjoying their station. They're probably a little bit more casual than most people. Perhaps it's the fact that this is one of the more civilized locations of this whole travel. Between Daggerford and Waterdeep is among the safer areas. It's still wilderness, but it's a little bit safer than anything else that you all have traveled up to this point.
Well, all right then. For now, that's just going to be on the back of Tynus's mind, just sort of generally keeping an eye on them without, going over to them or anything of that nature. Definitely going to be more active on it in the evening, though.
So with that in general, the day passes rather uneventful, and you guys can progress more in towards an evening and any sort of plans that you might care for while the wagon train is set down for the night. If you have anything that you want to accomplish in one of the other rests while the horses are resting, there are 2 points during the day where you guys do that on the regular. But just let me know if there's anything else that you really would like to accomplish during that day.
Okay, so at this point, can I go around to everybody else and tell them about the wagon?
How would you like to do that?
Hell if I know. Just say that when there was this, I can't remember, the person who said to keep away from the wagon, and so I was trying to I protect the situation by drawing things away when we had that fight. So maybe it's something that we should investigate more.
Just walking up to each person in turn?
Yeah.
As Vicious approaches, Tynus will hold up his shield and say, "We don't want any trouble, orc."
Tynus? It's me, Vicious. Don't you remember me?
I fought with you once and we never introduced ourselves. I don't readily associate with orcs.
But Tynus, we've done a lot of things together. We were a whole group. What's going on with you?
You are having some sort of hallucinations. I would ask that you take your insanity elsewhere, orc. And he will just sort of make a gesture like shoo out.
Tynus, something's really strange going on with you.
I don't know who told you my name, but I would suggest you make sure you and that person keep out of my business.
Linus, let me have you do a perception check, and Vicious a perception check at disadvantage.
That's a 10. So I'm gonna have to get used to not calling out.
Both of you would notice, kind of vaguely, side of your eyes, Aradhana, the woman who hired Vicious for this last leg, seems to be paying attention to this conversation you two are having.
Get back to your post and don't associate with me unless we have some reason to. I suppose if there's a fight not caused by you.
Sure. Okay, so eventually I'm going to find Doc and ask if he understands what's going on with Tynus, if anything strange has happened.
A cigarette, you say? Of course, I'd be glad to share, but don't make a habit of it. And I'll pull out a cigarette and light one for Vicious, and then we'll kind of usher her like away from Amalia and my wagon.
Hey, Doc, I just tried to talk to Tynus, and he doesn't know who I am hardly. He told me to go away. He doesn't remember us being together for all the stuff we did.
I wouldn't take it to heart, Vicious. I think he was probably playing stupid. Keep in mind, we are attempting to keep our profile a little low.
No, really, he did not want me around. He really, something is very, very wrong with him.
I can't speak to that. I did notice that his spider bite looks a little bit better, but the rest of him looks like shit. So definitely keep my eye on him, so to speak, or keep my eye out for him or whatever. But he is acting rather strangely. I swore I heard his voice in my head as well.
Okay, so it's not just me. All right, well, I'm going to have to avoid him because he basically said that he's scared of me or whatever and would probably want to kill me, that kind of thing. Like that bad. So you see if you can get any sense out of him. By the way, thing about Wagon.
I wouldn't take it to heart. I think he was probably just acting poorly or poorly acting, depending on how you phrase it. Again, I wouldn't worry too much about it, but it's not a bad idea to keep your eyes peeled.
All right, I'm just not going to be able to get over towards him anymore. Okay, so then I'm going to move on to Hadar and same conversation.
I'm gonna try. You wanna punch me again, or why did you come here? What do you want from me?
No, that was, oh, good grief.
And
We
I'm
were
gonna
trying to put on a show. Do you remember?
I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop her while she's speaking. Remember, we are trying to act as don't know each other.
Well,
So
yes, but
approach me in hiding and not in the plain field. If you want to tell me, come later.
all right.
And
Vicious, let me get a wisdom check from you.
I can't do role playing. We figured that out after months and months.
I have to wholeheartedly disagree. This has been absolutely amazing. I feel like it is a perfect orc trying to interact with humans. You really don't quite understand what they're getting at trying to tell you this. But at the same time, you're like, I feel like we did have a conversation about something, but I don't understand why they wouldn't talk to me when I pull them to the side. You just don't necessarily recognize that pulling them to a side and trying to sneak when there is no chance of somebody seeing you are two different things, and it's just not connecting in your orc head. But you are definitely like Damn, everybody seems to be acting weird. I can't wait for them to start acting normal again.
Okay, good. It's not that Tynus has been completely overtaken and can't remember me, because that would make my heart break.
The Tynus thing is probably the most troubling of all of them. That's not necessarily what is alleviated from that. It's more like you're curious why everybody is acting that way, and your vague memory is essentially like a little bit of being aware that this must be how humans try to act incognito, but you just don't fully understand what they're doing. Like, it seems like there's easier ways to go about playing that you are not friends than to, like, shoo you away and to yell at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go back to my wagon where I'm supposed to be guarding and be a guard.
As you are heading back to your wagon, you see a familiar face run up to you and kind of just run towards you and eventually, like, not jump to embrace you, but she seems really excited to see you and goes to, like, open her arms to hug and then, like, stops at the last second. Vicious! I thought we lost you in Daggerford. It's a pleasure to see you again. I'm so glad you came back with the wagon. We're actually camping over here. And she starts to drag you away from the wagon where you have all of your things set up to sleep.
Okay, so I'm assuming this is the person whose wagon I helped save?
This is Mikeian, the young lady who had hired you in Dragonspear to be her guard.
I can't keep these people straight.
Mikeian was the person who hired you in Dragonspear, and Aradhana is the person who hired you in Daggerford. Mikeian was the rare ore merchant. You picked up the ore and, like, basically did a feat of strength to prove your worth to them.
Okay, so I'll go with her because that makes me feel better.
Where have you been? What happened in Daggerford? We thought we lost you.
No, they took care of some things, and I hired on with a different wagon.
Wait, what? Are you uh, are you not pleased with are you not I why did you leave us?
I thought I was supposed to get a different wagon. I don't know. I didn't know you wanted me back.
Uh, most of the best uh blacksmiths are in Waterdeep. I thought it was somewhat assumed that you would be accompanying us all the way to Waterdeep. Uh, if What was it, a thing about money? Are you not pleased with the way we've treated you? I know Belkalana can be kind of mean, but we've all grown to as much as a green. You we 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 like you.
Oh, I appreciate hearing that.
You feel like a soft, like, pat on the on like the back of on your, like, between your shoulder blades as she kind of, like, pats you lightly, like, very hesitantly, and you can hear the shaking in her voice as she doesn't want to alarm you. So will you be rejoining us? Are you happy enough to stay the course with us?
Well, I already hired on with the other wagon, so I have to stay with them.
Oh, okay. I guess we'll make do. Um, do you care? Do you need the payment for the travel from Dragonspear? Or Were you just never gonna see us again?
Oh, yes, I would like the payment from Dragonspear.
Well, I guess come back to the wagon and I'll pay you for your services. Maybe I'll be able to hire somebody new.
Well, I can try and watch out for your wagon too if you're in the same area.
I think there's a proverb about two masters and serving both, and I don't know, I don't really read the sacred texts that much, but I think it's best if you care more for them that you go to them, and we'll just part ways now.
I'm sorry.
So as you join her back at their wagon, you see two familiar faces that you've rode with for a while there, and then there is a third person who seems to be a part of that crew, who seems to be a new face. And this person seems to be a young halfling female, probably about like 30 or 40. And she just kind of seems to be sitting somewhat to herself, but around the same fire of this wagon group, and she seems to stare somewhat curiously as the half orc approaches with Mykian. She's like picking her nails with a dagger.
Hello.
Evening. And you are?
My name is Vicious.
What a lovely name. It's a pleasure to meet you. And as she reaches out with the hand with the dagger in it, you see as very quickly she kind of flips the dagger and it seems to almost disappear in an instant. And she reaches out to shake your hand.
That was a neat trick you did.
The neater trick is if you saw where it went.
No, but it was a neat trick.
You feel the hilt of the dagger poke into your kidneys on the back left side.
Okay, now it's not such a neat trick.
Just a little friendly hello. Not sure exactly who you are, but if you intend to take my job guarding this little wagon here, I intend to tell you to be off on your own. No other need is here for you. Mikey and has all she'll require. Well,
Oh, of
actually,
course not.
she kind of was one of our earlier hires that we've had for a while now, and uh, we thought we lost her in Daggerford, but she was gonna join us, and then I guess she hired on with somebody else, so she's actually gonna leave. So you really don't have anything to worry about. But I appreciate you being so happy to work for me. What is the rest of the party doing after visiting with Vicious?
So we are currently in evening mode. Are we still traveling, or are we setting up for the nightly rest?
You guys, if you have anything that you want to accomplish, just try to describe to me what time you need it to be, and we can go there. But otherwise, this would have all been evening mode as Vicious walks around to people as they're setting up camp.
Gotcha. Let's see. Tynus is going to try to slip 100 gold worth of diamonds because he has 220 in his possessions. He's going to try to slip a little bag of 100 gold worth of diamonds onto Oin's wagon during his watch. He's gonna try to play it off as just patrolling. Uh, probably gonna be taking again one of the later watches and just slip a 100 gold worth of diamonds onto the wagon.
And which watch are you planning on doing this on?
Let's see. Second to last, right before everyone would be beginning to wake up. That way, most of the other guards are a little less fresh.
Doc, roll a d4 for me. Oh, wait a second. Oin is the one who left Doc. My bad. I still have Doc filled out on that cart because of reasons.
Yeah. He's one of my whole thing is that one of the one of the heroes of Greenest is replace Doc on Oin's wagon. So this is more towards the whole getting that whole investigation started.
You are planning to sneak over to the wagon and hide diamonds on it?
Yep, just a little pouch full of about 100 gold worth of diamonds. And of course, gonna use enhance ability to make sure I can get some extra stealth on that.
So as you sneak off to the cart, you are able to make your way to the back of the cart, and you see Oin kind of sitting up, resting against his bedroll, as he kind of holds a small bird in his hand, and he seems to be speaking with the bird.
Ooh, did not expect him to be awake. Tynus is again gonna be playing this off as just doing a patrol. So yeah, we're still gonna try to sleight of hand it onto there, just like just drop it onto the back of the wagon while walking past. And as I walk past, gonna give Oin just a sort of casual salute and keep going.
Let's see how slightish your hands are.
Here we go. That is a 15. Wait, enhance ability. I'm not. No, I don't roll. I just take the. If I'm taking advantage, that's a 22.
So he looks off at you and he kind of nods, a little intrigued by you. How goes it there?
It's been all quiet on this watch. Just wanted to make sure, keeping an eye on all the wagons, walking around, on the report. And he's just gonna be
I need you
keep
to
on
make
walking.
a charisma check.
Here we go. This is the weak one. 13.
Everybody but you seems inclined to keep to themselves. What about your personage makes you feel so inclined to watch over my wagon?
He'll just sort of like stop as if he was about to keep walking and then turn around and go, "It's not your wagon. It's the whole caravan. One bad apple ruins the bunch, as they say. Something goes wrong on someone else's could affect mine, and I'm
You
interested in
are right
securing my
that
own pay."
one bad apple ruins the bunch. You seem to be a little bit too prying into things that don't belong to you.
You can believe that if you like. I'm just securing my gold. He's gonna try to walk away.
And who are you hired on with? Maybe I'll have a conversation with them about their prying bastard.
I don't think you need that information. As he walks off.
He follows you.
Crap. He's gonna. He's gonna say. So.
You know there are thieves in this place already. We know there's shady characters, and you're going about my wagon. Did you steal something?
I didn't steal anything, and I'm not a thief. If I was, I wouldn't be trying to help everyone.
Intriguing. Trying to help, eh? Make a deception check for me.
All right. 15?
Kind of follows you through the camp. He seems to be keeping his distance as he kind of watches you going through places, but through different times of this bit of your watch, you pretty much notice that at any given time, Oin has his eyes on you.
just gonna keep going about the business. Once I've made a full circuit of the wagons, head on back to gonna head on back to what you call it, Lilu's.
Anybody else with the evening?
Well, when the night comes, I want to approach Wishes later, probably, because
So that was third
Just-
watch about like 4 a.m. So what are you trying to do?
well, I believe that Wishes will be sleeping at that time. So
Like I
I-
said, I'm trying to speed these things up. So when you have stuff to do, I want you to let me know what you were trying to accomplish.
yeah. So yeah, but I'm trying to accomplish is to approach Wishes secretly, so that no one, the less people notice. So I believe in the morning would be bad too, or
So waking her up in the middle of the night is probably a good way to have less people notice. If you'd like to try to get to her in the morning, that's also a viable option. It's up to you.
yeah, I would try to get to her before sunrise, before everyone is waking up, and
So
be
in the
like,
final watch,
yeah, on the final watch.
Vicious, roll a d4 for me. She seems to be sleeping as you approach her, but you can shake her awake. Not sure if an orc's going to punch you in the face for shaking her awake, but it's an option.
Well, I'm gonna try here to shake her lightly in the beginning. Like, Wishes, wake up!
Huh?
You Wishes, you remember you wanted to talk to me.
Oh yeah, Hadar. Okay, so then I'm gonna move away from wherever we're supposed to be next to, so that we're kind of more in a quieter location.
So as you go to move away, you do see that perfect. Adahana is on watch, and she kind of sees the two of you head off.
I have no idea who that is.
The person who hired you.
Okay, Adahan?
Aradhana.
Aradhana. Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
When you
Like
meet
I have
somebody,
A.
if you never ask for their name, you might never get their name. It's really only bubbly characters that I think would introduce themselves forwardly. So what are you two saying?
Hadar, were you actually mad at me about that fight that we had?
Would it be wrong for me if I would have been mad too? I feel you just punched me there. You nearly killed me. But I feel like could you get to the point? I feel like you had a reason to doing that. I hope at least that you have a reason.
Yeah, that was just us. We were trying, or I was trying to get you to put on a show. I wasn't trying to actually hurt you. We were supposed to be distracting people away from this wagon. And and I thought that was the best way to do it. Kind of fun. You didn't think it was kind of fun?
Definitely wasn't fun for me.
I'm
But
sorry.
so why did you try to distract the attention from this wagon? So for what reason? I was told there's some delicious food in this wagon. Why should you draw attention away from this wagon?
I don't know. The person who had the wagon said to do so, and it seemed like I should do it. So I did.
So so someone told you to keep away from the wagon. Did they have it? So you just did it, or just you so they tried to steal from it, or for what reason?
I honestly don't remember, but I'll point out the wagon.
Roll intelligence check.
Yeah, I wanted to ask if I know if it's the wagon. from the guy before.
You would vaguely recognize the wagon when. No, I want the intelligence check from Vicious. This is for me to give her information.
All right.
So I like the narrative that you think Radisir asked you to protect the wagon. I'm inclined to stick with that one, but you are aware that Radisir asked you to knock over the wagon, essentially throwing Hadar into it so it would tumble to the ground and off the wheels. She did not ask you to protect it. She asked you to knock it over. Using
That
the
is
fight
so not
as
my
cover.
memory of this. I thought I was supposed to distract from it, and that's why we got into that,
Nope,
you
that
know,
was the
kind
point.
of.
She asked you to get into a fight with Hadar, and if at all possible, knock over the wagon to cause a commotion around the wagon. So people were focused on you, but the wagon would fall over on its side.
Oh. Okay, we're going to put that up to being a half-orc instead of just being me.
That's why I'm saying I'm sticking with the narrative that Vicious thought she was trying to protect the wagon and did not understand what she was asked to do.
Translation error.
Yep, it works out perfect. It's one of those things where real life is much better than you can ever write.
See, this is why these adventure hooks don't work.
Or maybe the half orc is the perfect character for you, Jamie.
Oh, totally, totally. This is basically who I am. It's like, you know, my avatar. Just I don't spray spit on everything though. I do sneeze a lot.
Ha, so it's not drool, it's actually boogers.
Oh god, no.
Every time Vicious rages, she has the uncontrollable urge to sneeze.
And everybody runs away because they believe they can get a little bit of corona from that.
Lightning damage is now corona damage.
Oh good grief.
Yeah.
Oh hey, leveling up to 6 means I'm impervious to lightning damage all the time.
That's unfortunate.
It's very fortunate.
Agree to disagree.
Also, I can breathe underwater. I can also breathe underwater, which is truly useless.
Wait, not impervious. You have resistance to lightning now.
Okay, I have resistance to lightning.
That's not as bad, but still just as bad.
So,
Just withstand a blue dragon's breath weapon.
Anything else
So
from your
what-
conversation, Hadar?
yeah, I would play. So we should. Do you remember the girl? The person. I mean, I don't know if there was a girl. Do you remember the person who hired you? So told you to do that. I mean, a little girl came to me and tried to tell me that there's some food inside. Was it the same person for you? Do you remember anything about her?
Well, Jamie doesn't.
You two can make a intelligence check. Actually, I can use Hadar's last one because it wasn't necessary. But Vicious, make another intelligence. Hadar, you would be aware enough that the girl who came to you to tell you about the food that Vicious had hidden on that wagon was indeed the little girl who Arlyle was thinking stole his amulet. And then also the little girl that you had the conversation with walking beside the wagons.
So, okay, Wishes. I think we need to investigate that wagon a little more. I mean, last time we didn't get a look and we fogged anyways, and you didn't get anything out of there. I mean, wanna try fighting in front of it again and someone when we get Doc or someone into it and he is like it's probably look into the wagon.
Okay, I don't know how to coordinate that this time. I mean, it was kind of cool having a fight with you, if you don't mind, but you weren't. I don't think we understood each other. I was looking at it as a practice fight.
Yeah, and on second thought, that's a shit idea. I think we need some another. Yeah, I definitely. I will think about it. We need to come get probably something on the wagon, and if it's food, I'm happy too. But if it's something else, I want to know it now.
You feel
So
rather certain that there is probably not food on the wagon.
yeah,
You're starting to connect the dots that Radisir was using the food as a ploy to manipulate you.
yeah, yeah. That would for the moment would be everything. So we should. I think we need to make a plan, but for now, just that. Let's investigate a little bit, and probably if someone gets more intel, meet again. And Taylor will head off back to his camp.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to bed.
Doc, any evening activities from you?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a little bit drunk, and then I'm gonna act like I'm more drunk than I really am, and I'm gonna try to sort of investigate or gamble with or whatever with the Heroes of Greenest and see if I can get any more like insight to their cheating, possibly expose them, or maybe even like provoke like some sort of like friendly competition.
So they're doing a pretty similar thing as they usually are, sitting down, playing cards, running different games. So you can certainly join in if you'd like. Let's see. Let me have you roll a dexterity check. So you spot little things here and there that seem fishy, but this one seems to be playing a little bit more straightforward of a game, and it's not as easy to kind of pick up on different points where he is indeed cheating. And let me have you roll a d4. You end up losing 4 gold.
Affirmative. And do I get any kind of information or anything?
Let me have you roll an insight. So I'm not entirely sure what sort of information you're looking for because I've already given you guys essentially the information that I planned on giving you. But you do notice different points where their story seems to be slightly different, either further confirming that these people are not you, but I think at this point you know that they're not you.
Okay. I'm not trying to poke the hornet's nest or anything here, but you beat me at the gambling games. Perhaps you care for a little friendly competition?
Already taken your gold. What sort of friendly competition do you have? Have you more coin?
Of course, I have more coin and I'm eager to spend it. Maybe we could, I don't know, have some sort of mm, proficiency challenge. And you go with the blade? Nothing hasty. I just want to have a little bit of fun, and it's been a while since I've tangled with anyone. And you do claim to be a hero, so maybe I could test my abilities.
Make a charisma check for me. A true gentleman only draws their blade to defeat a monster. And while it seems interesting enough to take your gold, I'm hesitant to draw my blade in a peaceful show of prowess. But perhaps when the worst comes to worst, I will once again be called upon to rescue these fine merchants from the dangers of the world, and everyone will once again see the wonders that is the heroes of Greenest. You Hamid! And he bows.
Doc will pull out a cigarette, light it up, and say, "Only a coward would take a man's money and not give him an opportunity to win it back."
Well, perhaps tomorrow, but for now, I will retire. And he walks away with two of the women from the wagon train under his arms.
Tomorrow it is. Duel accepted.
Any other thoughts? Anything anybody else is planning on doing? Otherwise, we're going to the next morning.
No,
What was
that's
that?
good for me.
What was that last bit he said at the end there? Yuan and Hamid?
Indeed, but you are not there. But yes, he
Gotcha,
called out
gotcha.
the name of the adventuring party, which he messed up, and then he said his name and walked away with the women.
Okay. Just wondering.
Yeah, I got you. And what was his name? It was Hamid?
Yuanin Hamid.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
So as you all wake up the next day, Tynus, you will wake up to Oin sitting across from Leilu with a cup of coffee in hand, and the two of them staring at you as your eyes open.
Tynus will greet Lilu as he has always done every morning. Just, he's done nothing wrong as far as he's concerned, and go about the general business he's always done to prepare Lilu's wagon to go.
I don't believe you'll be having to put any effort into preparing the wagon. Your services won't be required anymore. I am not in the habit of employing thieves. I think it would be best if you leave.
Thieves? I've done no stealing of any kind. Lilu, we had a deal. I'm only here to protect you. I don't
Only here to
understand where this
protect
accusation
me,
came from.
and yet my fellow here saw you walking around the entire wagon train, and for some reason we have many things going missing, and you wander away from guarding our wagon, which you were employed to guard. It just seems too fishy.
No, I was only going around the rest of the wagon train in order to make sure nothing would affect you.
All the things that a
If
thief would say. Oin assures me that he caught you in the middle of stealing from his wagon, trying to root through it as you were attempting to take different things from him. He's quite worried that you got away with things, though he's
I
not
would
actually
gladly
aware what
submit.
you would have taken.
I would gladly submit myself to any kind of search to prove that I have stolen nothing from
There's no
anyone's
need.
wagon.
I don't steal, or I don't employ those who would steal. So, be gone. Please take your things and leave our employ. And she throws a bag of 2 silver at you.
But I never would, and I can prove it.
There's no need. Please. You see as
He will
Oin
just
shakes Leilu's hand and he walks off.
he's just gonna shoot a dirty look at Oin and gather his things, but he is not going to leave the caravan proper. He's just going to, I guess, be off in the sort of general midst of things.
Let's see. So, whilst preparing coffee, Vicious, the little gnome, will approach you that you saw on Mykian's cart, and she's actually going to sit beside you and kind of look down with a cup of coffee in hand. And actually, my bad. As you prepare your oats, you've not mentioned that you drink coffee. You've mentioned that you prepare oats. She's gonna kind of sit down beside you. Doesn't really say anything at first, but she's there about 5 minutes.
Hello?
So she just kind of sits there awkwardly for a while.
Did you want to talk to me?
Are you aware of all the attention you seem to be gathering?
I'm a half-orc? Most people stare at me.
That seems a sufficient cause, perhaps, but if you perk up your ears and you listen to the eyes, they say a lot more than perhaps they lead on to. It seems people are beginning to whisper about your presence beyond just the orcishness of what you are. She starts to point out to different people very subtly, more with her eyes as she's kind of describing a different person, and then kind of motions in that general direction as she kind of lays back and sips off on the cup of coffee and kind of points with the long top edge of the coffee cup towards a different person as she kind of tilts it back. And then she'll kind of talk about this person, and she starts to reference at least 3 different people who you've noticed at different times seem to linger as they look at you, last night and little bits in the past since you all have left Dragonsphere. But she's starting to kind of connect those dots for you as she points out these 3 individuals.
Oh, yeah, I've seen them looking at me too, but I wasn't thinking that was more than just being green.
Well, perhaps it is. Perhaps it isn't. It just seems the word that they share is a little bit more dangerous. Some of them are beginning to think that your purpose here is a little bit more nefarious and contra to their own. And just wanted to give you a little warning that perhaps you aren't as safe as you might feel in this caravan at present. They're starting to pay too much attention to you, if you gather my meaning.
Well, yes, thank you very much.
Well, be safe. It's been a pleasure, and maybe we'll have another opportunity to speak for the future. She kind of sloshes the coffee around a little bit in her cup, takes a last sip, and then throws the dregs into your fire and walks off.
All right, so who was that?
Do you want to ask her name?
Yes. Oh, what's your name?
Kind of twiddling around with the knife in her hand. Gleam Silver. You can call me Jamna.
Jumna. Thank you. So, sorry. Is this the halfling?
That was the little halfling who was sitting with Mikeian when you went back to collect your... Oh, I never actually told you. Mikeian did pay you your 5 gold. So you can add that. But it was the halfling who was sitting with Mikeian and who put the hilt of her dagger up to your... pancreas? Damn it, no, I didn't say pancreas. Fuck.
Whatever.
Kidney.
Side. It was the hilt.
Yep. Little bit different disposition when she's walking to you in more or less secret.
So, Jumna, thank you. I'm glad we could come to terms, because I mean you no harm.
Don't jeopardize my job, and no harm should come to you. But keep your eyes open. Not many would mourn for an orc thrown to the side on the tradeway.
That's a very good point.
So across this, the 21st of Uktar, does anybody have any wishes or thoughts about what they would like to accomplish this day?
2 things for Tinus. First, I'm gonna burn all 3 of my 3rd level spell slots sending messages to my party. I went ahead and made sure the messages fit within the 25 word limit. But to Doc, he will say, I've planted diamonds on Oin's wagon. I'm going to pin it on the heroes tonight. And then he will send a variation of that to Hadar and Vicious, where instead of saying Oin's wagon, he will say the person Doc used to work for.
Understood. I've planted a little seed myself. Kicked the hornet's nest, so to speak.
So they all have that message, and hopefully I don't have any fights today because I've already burned through quite a few of my spell slots for today. And other than that, Tynus is going to try to get hired onto a different wagon.
Nobody hires you. You are marked as a thief. Everybody seems to know you as a thief.
Is there any way I can try to convince someone?
Nope. I have given you all way too many chances to get on wagons, and there are no more wagons that are looking for employee, and this wagon train was very quick to spread the wildfire of we found out who the thief is.
Crap. Well, just have to go with the other plan. Then, yeah, Tynus will just follow along the wagon train. That isn't until evening when the fine fellow, or not the fine fellows of Dagford, the heroes of Greenest are doing their usual routine or whatever variation of it they happen to be doing. And he's going to try to sort of bump into the one who works on Oin's wagon and cause a commotion from there. But that's going to be during the evening when they're doing their bits.
Hader's definitely gonna try to stay near that end when this will happen.
So, let's see. Let me have someone roll a d6.
Tynus was faster, lucky.
So, the wagon train sets in for the evening to start to prepare for camp. How would you like to go about bumping into the heroes? When are you looking to do it? And are you looking to stop them before they go and start their entertaining? Or are you looking to describe the situation for me?
All right, so specifically, he's going to be bumping into the one who works for Oin. But basically, how Tynus is going to be setting this up is as the wagon train stops for the evening and they go about getting that common area set up where everyone sort of sits around the fire and has their gamblings, their games, their casuals, and yada yada. What he's going to do is, as that particular one is walking towards that common area, he is going to be more or less walking in the other direction. And as they are walking past him, he is going to just sort of this part he's going to be trying to do stealthily, gonna collide with them. And from there, he's going to make a big commotion out of that.
As you sort of move to fall into him, he seems to move out of the way. Mind yourself, little thief. You wouldn't want to get yourself into any more trouble than is necessary.
I am no thief, though apparently that sentiment is not shared by anyone else. My apologies.
Well, when you are known to be a thief, it's best not to go about doing thievery things, like attempting to clumsily fall into those who might be walking in a different direction than you. Perhaps in the future you might learn a little bit of the trade before you join in on it.
You seem to have a mind of a thief, more so than even I. And he
Good
will just
adventurer
move
always
away.
knows those who are enemies. You walk away feeling a little bit lighter on your feet, and if you would, delete all of the coins on your person.
Ah, crap. He got me. He got me good. That's 2 gold, 20 silver, and 5 copper. Yeesh, he got a good load on me.
Any further thoughts on that plan after that situation, or was that your one go at it?
For today, I don't think at this point sentiment is too skewed against me for me to make this work if I tried another thing. Uh, for today, this is just Tynus is gonna have to like retreat. I'm gonna have to think of something else to try to get suspicious on them.
Can you read your message that you sent to everyone back to me?
All right. I didn't have it written down directly, just kept it in mind. But the message to Doc was, "I've planted diamonds on Oin's wagon, and I'm going to pin it on the
Okay, it
heroes."
wasn't a call to action, though. I got you.
No, it was just him informing them of what he was going to attempt to do. He wasn't telling them to move.
So did you tell us that we could talk to you in our minds?
Nope.
Oh, I like to imagine Vicious is having conversations with Tynus in her mind.
Because
I tell you
I'm
that.
definitely confused about this. Tynus, you're still my friend?
Are you doing this to like real Tynus, or are you trying to say this in his head, in your head?
I'm trying to say this in my head.
Can Tynus see Vicious?
When are you doing this, Vicious?
I have no idea. Whenever I heard him say whatever he did.
Oh, yeah, if you respond right away, he'll actually hear it. So what are you saying in response to his note about the wagon of Oin, who Doc used to work for?
Tynus, are you still my friend? I thought you didn't know who I was.
He can't really respond, unfortunately, but at some point during the day after that response, Tynus would have just sort of nodded to you offhandedly. I don't know if you noticed it at any point, but he would have just sort of nodded.
Then you get a performance, and then from Tynus, and a perception from Vicious.
12 on that performance. Sorry, keep calling out.
Yep, Vicious, you're able to note when he kind of nods to you, and it seems a little bit more in line with the Tynus you've come to know from the little bits of adventuring your party has done.
Okay, that's better. I thought there was something going on with the whole vampire thing.
No, he's just trying to maintain secrecy.
I mean, it's just a nod, so it's not like you get a whole lot from it.
No, but, he's looking at me and not freaking out.
Anybody else have any plans what they are trying to accomplish this evening?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find Yuanan and see if I can provoke him again.
What are you looking to accomplish?
Oh, I think we're in a duel today.
I need more of a description of what you think's going to happen. What you want me to describe.
Okay, I got you. I'll find him and say, well, normally I do my dueling at high noon, but you'll know where to be found. I assume you didn't want to hold up the wagon train, but evening time's as good as any. How about a little playful action? Y'all ready to step up to the plate now and give a man a chance to win back his gold?
I believe I explained to you yesterday, I do not draw my sword for anyone who is not a danger to these fine folk that I am employed to guard. I am a hero of the realm. I am no vagabond who goes about dueling other weak-minded folk.
It's funny how I've seen no actual heroic actions from you, but
My presence
did
alone
talk
is
with
enough to scare away the evils of the world.
I've been called evil before, and I don't look too scared. How's that make you feel?
Please, please, you're just trying to hamper my wonderful mood. We've made it here safely. The wonders of my might will get us to Waterdeep safe and sound, and soon we will all enjoy the splendid city that has made this world. How great we make it ourselves. And he stands with his chest like puffed up out in front of him as he stares off towards the crescent moon in the sky with his hand against his chest, and he just sits there silently for about 2 minutes.
Doc will light up a cigarette, walk up a little awkwardly close to him, take a hit of the cigarette, and then, oh, excuse me, and I'll spit a little blood up on his shoe.
Oh, dear, why would oh my, oh. Pulls out a little handkerchief with some like dainty little doils in it, clearly hand sewn, and he like just wipes it ever so carefully. These are extremely fine shoes for you to just be coughing up your refuse. Please mind your location. I have better things to do. And he walks away from you.
Well, when he's bent down though, wiping off his shoe, Doc's gonna say to him, "While you're down there," and then I'm gonna bump him with my knee and try to knock him over.
Make a dexterity check.
I'm gonna use a luck point on that one.
I am so over these one-day adventures. You kind of knock him backward. He nearly catches his body weight, and he slips a little bit to the ground. You, sir, are provoking the snake, and you do not want to find what happens when a cobra strikes. Please stop trying to cause a battle like that wretched orc and the fat one the other day. This place is for those who are civilized. And he stands up to his feet. And those who are civilized do not fight amongst themselves. We are heroes of this land, and I expect to be treated with the proper respect of one who saves the weak and feeble. Now, please, step aside. I have places to be, and those to entertain.
All right, so I'll reach my hand out to help him up, and as I help him up, I'm going to attempt to steal his coin purse.
So let me have you make a stealth check.
I'm going to use one more luck on that.
So you can steal his coin purse, and you will eventually find that there is, let's see, we'll do 6 gold, 40 silver, and 5 copper. And he, in turn, is going to be taking your coin purse, and will be taking, let's see, 1/4 of what you have on yourself. So he'll be taking about 8 gold from you.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, if you didn't luck him, he would have just gotten everything.
Okay, gotcha.
If I rolled a 20 on what he took, he was going to take your luck stone.
Nice. But that's all I needed is an actual reason to fuck with him now, because I've basically just been fucking with him for fun.
Oh yeah, there should be no doubt in your minds that these people are, something is fishy about them. But anybody else have any plans what they're trying to accomplish this evening? Let me have everybody roll a d4.
No, I just meant like I've been looking for an opportunity to get them to actually fight something, or to like fight me or something, and I feel like everything I've tried has failed to like provoke them in any way, and we haven't gotten in a fight since we met them.
Yeah, it's actually been a crying shame the way everything's worked out.
Oh, I have a plan for that.
So neither of you wear armor, so it's not effective at all. But during the fourth watch of the evening, while Hadar and Vicious are on watch, you all start to hear from a high point in the mountains above you. There seems to be a loud chant, and this chant starts to join into a chorus as a dark green glow starts to come from this ledge or mountainous region to the east of you. And as this chant continues on, you start to see like almost flame-like light start to come from this green glow, and this green flame starts to grow off into a massive bonfire at the peak above, and in a moment, the chanting stops.
But the fire is still there.
Does Tynus recognize that chanting?
Tynus is asleep. Vicious and
All right,
Hadar are the two who are on watch during the fourth watch. So the 4 that you rolled earlier told me when the event was going to happen, Tynus, and the 2 of them are on watch during it.
Makes sense.
So, does the fire go out?
When the chanting stops, a darkness flows over the area. There doesn't seem to be any more activity up there.
Do I see anyone else in the camp awake beside me and Wishes? Besides?
Most any given wagon has somebody on watch at that point.
Right, so what are they doing?
Everybody's kind of just staring off into that direction right now.
Alright, that's what we'll do.
Inaction, the best of possible outcomes.
I would try to be
It's too late. It's inaction it is.
alright.
So, as you two stare off into this area, you start to hear a loud whip from in the sky above you. And let's see. Vicious, make a wisdom saving throw. In an instant, you start to hear the beat of dragon's wings overhead, and start to imagine this blue dragon who once attacked Kreenis, and fear starts to overtake you. And then you... No, those are many wings. Though the sound seems similar, this is not the same as the dragon that assaulted Greenest. This is something else flying overhead. And the little bits of the flame from the fires around the camp start to shine in, and you see there seems to be some sort of winged creature overhead.
Alright, now I'll make an alert and try and wake everybody up.
As you make the first sound, a creature is going to swoop down and try to grab at you. I need everybody to roll initiative.
Yeah, boy.
Man, a natural 20 on initiative.
A natural 1 on initiative.
Alright, I can't find my token, so I'm giving up and rolling initiative.
The right side of the screen, the one that looks like Vicious.
You're at 3 o'clock on the clock.
But I can't drag it over.
No, your token's on the board. Just click it and roll.
Oh, it seemed to work, actually.
I added you.
Oh, that's why. Duh. Still can't find it.
You really don't see your token on the right side of the board.
Oh yeah, now I do.
Oh, I did not update your tokens since you all leveled up, though, so the actual life counters on Roll20 may be inaccurate as to your level 6 traits.
I've been disregarding that thing for the longest.
When Jamie was having so many troubles with the dynamic lighting, I got rid of the actual pro. There's no reason to pay for functionality that doesn't actually work. So that turned off the actual auras. I wish I uninstalled it before I got rid of the function. Now I can't uninstall it. But I think if we started fresh, I could get rid of the actual auras around you.
Oh, so we don't get to see the part where it sprays blood?
Nope.
Did it ever actually do that?
Yeah, when you adjusted your life bar and when you gained life, it used to make little graphics.
Oh, I was always
That
looking at
was
my
cool.
character sheet. I never saw it. I only ever saw my aura change color.
I liked that part. Sorry, I'm incompetent.
I like to think like a year from now that they'll have gotten out like a lot of the glitches with this stuff.
I check back pretty regularly, but like honestly, dynamic lighting has always been a big issue on Roll20. And while it got better between the first time that I had it and the last time that I had it, it's still mildly interesting at best. I'm still really tempted to rock out Foundry because Foundry is absolutely amazing. The problem is that I would basically have to either pay for a server to host on or host on my actual computer, like opening up so people can like log into my computer.
Yeah, Foundry looks cool as hell. Like especially the like virtual tabletop thing or whatever. I was watching this video the other day. It just randomly popped up on the dynamic lighting or whatever, and it was like on D&D Beyond's website. It was a new video or like by the creators, and they were like showing off the updated dynamic lighting. And in the video, like the creators were having trouble with it. I'm like, holy shit, you guys should have practiced this.
Few things are as amazing though as when Elon Musk was like, "Yeah, our windows are bulletproof," and then he broke it with a baseball bat. But yeah, it's pretty amazing when like people try to show off their new shit and then break it.
Yeah, that was the funniest thing ever. I was like, oh, I guess we're not getting a Tesla truck.
That is one ugly truck.
That's the future. The future has no aesthetic value. So as these things swoop down, it is going to pass over Tinus. It is going to make a, let's see, an attack at Vicious as it swoops into you. Vicious, I need you to make a charisma saving throw as you see into this creature's eyes, and while it looks a lot like a bat, it has like an eerie darkness cloud around its body as if it's almost smoking just in the presence of flying through the air. Oh shit.
Yeah, I get a -1 in charisma. I'm, a half orc. What do you
Well,
expect?
luckily I rolled really bad on the damage for it. A nice reason to start using averages. But you are going to take 5 damage as necrotic damage like starts to eat away and your eyes start to bleed. Your hit point maximum is reduced by 5 and you take 5 necrotic damage there. So your health should still be maxed, but just reduce your hit point maximum by that 5. And then it is going to crit as it claws across your body, and then it is going to try to bite at you, and it's going to miss with its bite. And it is going to do the 16. Oh shit, that's only half of it. 16, 26, 34 damage to you as it slashes across your body.
34. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to be angry about this.
And then Doc, roll a. I guess Hadar started to awake you guys, so you guys can join next turn. Hadar, what are you doing as you watch this creature swoop down on Vicious? Jan, are you there? What's Hadar doing? Assuming that Jan will be returning shortly. Vicious, what are you doing?
I'm going to hit back at this thing.
You're going to attack before raging?
No, I'm raging.
I'm going to rage, and then you make your attacks.
Sorry, I'm going to rage. I said I felt like I was getting angry, but I should have said I'm raging.
It still takes action economy to rage, so you have to actively do it on your turn.
Okay, I'm raging now.
So you
because I'm really hurt and mad about it.
You swing at this creature, and you, like, plink off of its fleshy armor.
I get another attack, right?
You do indeed. 17 will hit. Roll a d6. 21 total damage. Hadar, are you back right now, Jan? Tynus, you are awakened to the screams about. Theoretically, Hadar yelling for everyone in camp to wake up. There are many creatures about yelling in pain as they seem to be swooped down by creatures all around you all. The four of you have one to fight. The actual caravan itself has many of these things attacking it. But we're dealing with the actual party because I am not fighting with 70 NPCs. So, Tynus, what are you doing?
Tynus is gonna be keeping an eye on the party, but he's gonna use the commotion to try to investigate Owen's wagon.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
I nearly just one-shotted the barbarian, and you are going to look over a wagon.
Oh yeah.
Nope, it's too late. It's no longer your turn.
Ah, crap. All right. Oh, well, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
When you see me delete a creature off of the battle map, that's probably a good time to be like, shit, did he underestimate the power of these?
Yeah.
Vicious, I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
I'm sorry, guys. Someone was at the door. Just came
Word.
back.
Let's hold off on that, Vicious, unless you've already rolled it, which you've not. So, Hadar, just saw this creature swoop down on Vicious and seem to bring this dark shadow about her body. And in almost a single claw attack, you just saw blood spurt across this battlefield as the barbarian was rent by this creature. What is Hadar doing?
So, was the barbarian vicious or someone else?
Like, these things are attacking the entire caravan. I was saying to everybody, I'm not playing 70 NPCs. The four of you have this one to fight.
All right. Well, am I the first to attack it right now?
What was the actual order? Yeah, you would basically have been going right after the creature attacked.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll. Wait, I can go over the things, I believe. I'm gonna try to step here. And I'm gonna throw some daggers at it. 13 to hit, I believe that will miss.
13 will indeed miss.
22 to hit
22 will hit.
for 5 damage. And that would be the end of my turn for now.
Alright, so now swinging back to Vicious. Charisma saving throw for me. This time, reduce your maximum hit points by 19, and I believe that should put you unconscious. Take 19 necrotic damage, and you would further reduce your maximum hit points by 19, for a total of 24 reduction.
Okay, so let's see, another 19.
And or can you post the orc ability? I'm not sure if you'll actually stand up on this one.
Okay, all right. So my current hit points was 10. Did I take more regular hit point damage?
You would take 14 necrotic, and then your maximum hit points would be reduced another 19. So your maximum hit
Okay.
points now should be 25, and you should be at 0. So I think what it's going to do is you stand up with relentless endurance. I think it's going to swipe at you and try to bite into. Oh man, which does less? It's going to try to swipe at you with its claws.
Yeah, it's worded like the first time you drop to 0 hit points, you stand back up with 1 remaining.
Yeah, prolonged rest.
Yeah, the problem is that this thing reduces the hit points more than that it reduces them to 0. This reduction lasts until the target finishes a short or long rest. If the target dies, its hit point maximum is reduced to 0. Wait, the target dies if its hit point maximum is reduced to 0. Yeah, so that's not going to happen yet. So yeah, I think you would stand back up with 1. And then it is going to slash at you and miss as it claws at you, and then it is going to swipe at you as it tries to bite into you. That was a 18. That will do 27. I think that's going to kill Vicious.
Holy crap.
And this creature is just going to stand over Vicious's body as you see it like open up its mouth and black smoke starts to flow from her body into this creature's mouth as it is focused over her body. Duck, you are hearing all of the yelling from about, and people are screaming, people are being torn up into the air and thrown about. What are you doing?
All right, so I kind of got the description, or I got the description that you gave, but when I look at this thing, do I recognize what it is?
This thing looks like a humanoid of sorts. It has very bat-like qualities, but I don't believe you have any reason to recognize this.
Okay, sounds good. And like glancing at it, does it appear to have any sort of weapons or anything? Is it just like a clawed humanoid beast?
From everything that you can tell, this creature is essentially nude. It is scaled. It has large bat wings and then other arms and other legs. It essentially has those 6 limbs.
Okay, gotcha.
Extremely large ears that come to a drastic point. It has horns on its head.
All right, so I'm going to assume all that is difficult terrain moving through there.
Yeah, more or less. This map is more about filling in stuff, but yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to move up close to it with my 30 feet, and then I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and shoot it with my longbow sharpshooter. I'm going to add a superiority die to that and try to use the drop attack on it. I know it doesn't appear to have any weapons, but 16.
That's gonna miss.
And then one more time, 20 to hit, and then I'm gonna use or I guess I'll just let that one go through.
Alright, 20 hits.
All right, and then Doc's gonna yell out, "You want to fight? You got one, creature. Come and get it!" And then I'm gonna action surge and do the same thing again. For that one, I'm gonna use the luck point on it. Damn, that's no better. And then one more time. 22 for that one.
22 hit. That's everything from you there, Doc?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That's it for me. Yep.
It will go to Hadar.
Well, I'm gonna try to jump right next to it for now. And I'm gonna start to punch it with my stick with both hands.
18 hits.
18 to for 5. Yeah, and I'm gonna apply my a key point to try to stun it with my stunning strike. It was wait, so it didn't look up the save it has to do.
Are you doing both of those with stunning strikes? Just trying to land the first it lands?
Well, I missed to say that it wasn't yet, but I would want to do it, yeah.
Let's see. Your DC is 13, and it's Constitution.
Yeah, a con saving throw.
Saves the first, and it will get stunned on the second.
Right. Well, then I'm gonna continue to punch it with my fist. I'm gonna use my flurry of blows as a bonus action.
You can have advantage.
22, is it then? Yeah.
22 hits.
For a total of
And then Tynus, what are you doing at the wagon?
Kind of committed to this now. I wish I wasn't. Tannis is going to be looking through Oin's stuff. Specifically, he's looking for goods that don't match what he would typically be selling or typical traveling items. So he's looking for evidence that the stolen items may be on Oin's wagon. And of course, naturally, he's also looking for any sign of the cult of the dragon. So symbols of Tiamat, relics that may have been stolen from villages, things of that nature.
Very creative things. You see a lot of different birds, and you hear a lot of people yelling for you to get away from the wagon thief.
Yeah, that makes sense. If I can get away from the wagon and rejoin the fight, I will.
I believe you used your action, could still move.
No, he decided that he was not going to participate in this fight, so he's off in La La Land. It's going to go to Doc.
So I didn't find any symbols of Tiamat.
You found birds, a lot of birds, many different kinds of birds.
Nice round, Jan. Nice round, Jan. So on, just to specify, when you said Vicious is dead, is Vicious like unconscious, like to where she could be like healed or stabilized, or is she like dead, like no death saves left?
Vicious is dead. He just did double her maximum hit points.
Oh shit. Okay.
That last attack was for 27, and her max hit points were at 25 at that point.
Okay, affirmative.
Okay, so that would be new character eventually, I guess.
We will have to see how this goes. But it's definitely a potential. But I'd rather kind of see how things play out, and we will take a break and see how it goes. You all have at least made some friends in this wagon. You do know that the woman that you saved inside of the Plains of the Dead, I can't remember what it's actually called. I'm kind of on an adrenaline high right now. The woman that you all saved there, she was a pretty powerful cleric, and may be the out, but it all depends how this kind of twists to or against your favor.
All right, so Doc is going to reach into his like clothing or whatever and pull out some daggers and yell, "I'm your Huckleberry Demon," and I'm going to do a sharpshooter dagger attack.
I don't mean to break things middle of the round. One of the things that I actually noticed going through Tasha's is that they actually created a feat for being able to draw daggers as fast as you can throw them. And that inclines me to be interpreting that I understood the free action drawing a weapon as being incorrect. I think you do have a single free action on your turn. So if you start with 2 daggers in your hand, you can throw those 2 and then use your free action to throw a third. But otherwise, for this purposes, I think it's best that you stick to the bow because you shouldn't be able to throw 3 daggers every single turn.
Okay, I got you. Well, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stash my bow, and then I'm going to just run into melee range. And then I should be able to do 1 free weapon interaction and then 1 as I attack with it, right? So can I do a double rapier attack? Okay, I'll just do that. That's fine.
Yeah, like you have
That's cool.
access to the double rapier, but I don't necessarily think that means it's better for you.
No, that's cool. I'll do that. I was thinking I would just do rapier, crossbow, but I'll just do the longbow sharpshooter.
18 hits.
So 18.
Oh, my
I'm going
bad.
to add. Oh, you're good. You're good. I'm going to add an extra D8 onto that one. And then one more time.
That maneuver is the one that makes it drop things. I guess it's not really holding her. It's even stunned now.
Yeah, that's to make her drop. And then I'm going to add another onto this one. So 19, does
That would hit.
Nice. Okay, so that's it for me.
The first of those you would start to see as a black ichor starts to boil out of the wound from the arrow, and it starts to smoke as it touches the air about it. And it will go to Hadar.
I mean, it's still stunned until the end of my turn, or am I wrong? It should be. If I read it right.
End of your next turn.
End of my next turn. It should be this turn, huh?
Stunning
Yeah.
strike is till the end of your next turn. This
I
is
misunderstood.
your next
Okay.
turn, which at the end of is when it is no longer stunned.
Yeah, sorry, I misunderstood that. Okay, so it's still stunned. So I'm going to start with punching it with my stick with 2 hands again.
21 hits.
It already missed its whole turn, right?
Indeed. 18
18 to
hit.
hit. I'm gonna use my bonus action to do a flurry of blows again.
18 hit. 19 hit.
Nice. Let's go, Jan.
And I'm just gonna use the opportunity because it is stunned and gonna take 2 steps back. And that would be the end of my turn then.
Tynus, you are searching through a pile of birds, being yelled at to leave and get away from their cart, you dirty thief.
I'm gonna take their advice and leave and get away from their cart, like the dirty thief I am. And yeah, I mean, after that, I will join the fight.
Do you have a plan how you are joining the fight?
Oh, yeah. Run over, get in.
If you don't want to
close.
take a turn, we can skip you again. That's fine.
Nah. I just waiting for a confirmation that I actually am leaving the cart. Yeah, so I'm gonna, let's see. I will do a dash action to get as close as I can, and then I will drop a spiritual weapon on this thing. Checking where I can move.
Definitely fucked up. This thing has advantage on it. Saves it would not have been stunned.
All right. Hold on, let me get my spiritual weapon token out. Right, yeah. So we smacked this thing for good damage, and that's all I can do on this turn.
Vicious. Roll a D100 for me. As you all encircle this creature, it is going to reach down, picking up the body of Vicious, and it is going to start to fly away. It is going to fly just as high as it flies away from you, but it is going to start to reattach these tendrils of smoke that seem to be drawn from her body into its being. And everybody can make one more ranged attack at this thing before it is gone.
All right. I guess I'll have to do the crossbow since I can't use a spell for this.
Like you essentially have a reaction that you can do. There's no reason that you don't necessarily have access to a spell. It doesn't require anything in particular. But this thing is fleeing.
Ah, I see. Well then, we are going to scorching ray that thing.
When you say one more attack, is it literally just a reaction or one round?
For what this is, just a reaction.
Well, that one misses. At least one of them hit.
Doc, Hadar, single attack.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my last luck point on the sharpshooter.
19 hit.
No, that's not. It's the other way around. I
got you.
I'm about to use my superiority die. I haven't rolled it yet. It's only 17.
I feel like I reduced its AC to 17 for somebody's hit at the start, so 17 hits.
19 damage.
Is it?
And are we able to pursue after it? I mean, I know you said we can only make one more attack, but I do have like 600 range on my bow. Is there any way I can like chase it at all and still attack?
This creature in particular has a 10-foot radius of darkness around it. So the creature isn't really spottable through the night as it flies away. The darkness just kind of disappears into the rest of the sky. And you all are on a waning moon as is after it would have set. So everything is pretty much as dark as it possibly can be as this creature flies off. I believe this was probably a mistake on my part. We have you all able to knock it out of the sky, and within the minute are able to resurrect Vicious, using up the end of the diamonds inside of this caravan. And just hand wave it away.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, Dynas could fireball the thing out of the sky if needed.
Well, again, this thing is cloaked in blackness, so the point is that normally speaking, you can't really see it once it moves away from you.
Can we go with that?
Yeah, let's go with that.
That is perfectly fine. You don't have to enter back into Loris Land.
Loris Land reminds me of something. Like a song, I think.
Lorelei is something?
I am looking through my playlist. I know there's a Loris Land or something that I'm remembering in terms of song. It's entirely unrelated to anything. It's just it triggered a memory in my mind.
I'm not sure what I was thinking about the Tasha's feet. We just have to kind of revisit that in the future. I'm not even seeing it at this point. I'm not sure if maybe it was from Acquisitions Incorporated. I felt like it was at the start of Tasha's where I was like, oh, holy shit, this is built for dagger fighters.
Yeah, are you sure it's not the one I said? Dual wielder, you can draw or stow 2 one-handed weapons when you would normally be able to draw or stow only one.
I feel like that's from the normal PHB though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really did feel like it was from Tasha's that I saw it. That was the biggest thing that was like throwing me. I felt like they created a new one that seemed it like actually spoke about daggers in particular, like throwing daggers.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen anything like that.
I don't know. I'm looking
Okay,
through a
I found
PDF
it.
version, so maybe that's what it is the PDF isn't as complete.
I don't know. That's the only two books that I'm like pretty proficient in is Tasha's and the regular PHP.
You're proficient in Tasha's? I've still only skimmed it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, not so much the spells, but like the actual stuff. Yeah.
I found it. It was Larryland. It was Electric Larryland. That's what Laura Slan reminded me of.
Let's try to shake this off. So, that was a mistake. Should have altered the damage, among other things, on that creature. Probably should have thrown out that crit. Moving on.
Reorient.
Narratively, we will have you all finish off the creature in the sky and delete the rest of the diamonds that you have.
Okie doke.
And what is her name? I'll have her in the notes. We'll cast the actual revivification. Cynthia will cast the revivification and bring Vicious back after her body plummets to the ground. And with that, the caravan is certainly lacking many people, would have been taken by these creatures. They seem to just as quickly start to feed on someone's soul as the very nature of attacking, almost as if their second nature is to start to feed on your soul.
Nasty buggers. I guess as things reassert themselves, Tynus is probably going to have to break away from the caravan as he's well and truly probably marked as a danger now.
Probably doesn't help that as hell started to descend on the caravan, somebody who once purported to, I actually am trying to guard all of the wagons, not just the one paying me, started to sneak into the wagon of Oin. But as everybody collects up their beings and kind of sets back in to a night's rest, it gets pretty calm, pretty quiet, pretty quickly. A lot of people are without rest and more or less go without sleep for the rest of the night. Most of the caravan is very slow to get moving, as you guys will basically lose about a half day's travel, as most people sleep well towards noon to try to get their rest for the night. Upon waking up around high sun the next day, when the caravan starts to get together and mournfully starts to get back together with things, it will go rather noticeably that it seems the heroes of Greenest fled at the first sign of fighting.
Oh dang, phew.
Can we try and pursue them and strike them down?
Probably been gone all through the night at this point, so we would have had to like run after them immediately after everything went crazy.
If anybody had taken the time to be like, yeah, fuck this Nabasu, I would like to see where the heroes of Greenest are, you would have seen them running away then. But who would ignore a demon flying overhead to do other things? Clearly, that's
Crazy.
nonsensical.
Complete lunacy. Never would have happened.
But no, they were supposed to run away the first day that you all saw the cults. The first sign of danger. And it's just so happened that they really never got the chance to see danger because I rolled so low for so many days that cult was the first time I rolled for an encounter, and Tinus ignored it.
Just gonna.
They were never supposed to make it to Daggerford.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
I made a severe and continuous lapse in judgment.
I mean, it's the dice and the narrative. That's how everybody writes the story. There's currently 6 people writing the story. Dice, myself, and you all making the decisions.
A working
So,
test theory of too many cooks.
as everything kind of gathers, there's a very eerie feel about the camp. Nobody really has any kind of joy going about. Many people lost their lives in the previous evening. Some were taken away. Some's bodies were actually resurrected into these ghoulish creatures that stood up and fought almost instantaneously. It was a pretty vicious battle for the entire camp. There would be different talks here and there going about. At some point, Gleam Silver would approach Vicious again, sitting back down and kind of taking a moment while you're cooking your porridge to kind of. I saw at the last moment, or saved last evening, some of those who have been watching you seem to have called it off almost as if the demons were trying to return to you. They seem to be speaking in eerie ways, as if they think you might be better off dead. I probably wouldn't go ahead and eat that today. And she kind of like reaches to take your porridge from you.
Okay.
And she takes it from you, and she kind of reaches in with her dagger, and she starts to swirl it around a little bit. And then after about like a minute or so, she kind of comes up with this little thing on the tip of the dagger. And as she kind of hands the porridge back to you, I probably be a little more careful with my food in the future. This is a bone shard meant for you to eat, and once it's inside of you, it will grow before opening up on your innards. And you a little bit more subtle, used by some of the most covert and terrible assassins. You may need to be a little bit more careful with your future moving forward.
All right. I don't know why anyone would be out to get me.
She kind of winks to you. No one indeed is in this wagon who's evil. Or wagon train.
All right. So that was the halfling, right?
Indeed.
Well, what am I supposed to eat?
Perhaps the foods that you can keep directly on your person. Nothing that you've ever lost sight of, and certainly nothing that anybody hands to you.
Great. Well, thank you for the warning. I mean, I don't know why this person's being nice to me. I'm going to assume she's on the up and up because I don't know what else to assume.
Make an insight check. Seems to have just saved your life, removing that little bone shard. What could possibly be wrong with her?
Sure. Of course, I'll believe everything. No, I'm not going to eat anything for the rest of the trip.
Kindness can feed you.
So, and this is where the hilarity continues. After a short while, around midday, Oin kind of approaches Doc, head kind of dropped low, twiddling his fingers as he's looking down at the ground. Um, I'm sorry. I have to apologize. I didn't I didn't realize that they were faking everything. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we left you that day. I'm sorry.
Oh, there's no apologies necessary. I'm not surprised that you were fooled by these frauds, these phonies, especially after seeing us in action. That you would risk your entire life and the lives of everyone here to save a couple coin surprises me not. It speaks highly of your character.
All backhand comments behind. We most certainly were taken for fools. I think most of the wagon train now recognizes that they probably walked off with many gold from most every single person here. Perhaps many, many hundreds of gold. I'm sorry.
Yes, I caught them cheating quite a few times and tried to expose it to the party, but nonetheless, you were all blinded by their bullshit stories. They sort of remind me of me, but none of the tales they told were true. Instead, it was all lies.
I understand you're hired on to one of the other wagons.
You understand correctly. And as you can see, we're here to protect the entire group, or should I say, I'm here to protect the entire group, regardless of our contract falling through. I will still look out for you.
That's good. I I hope we can put all this behind us. We make it to Waterdeep. I everybody makes mistakes. I can't help but feel that we bought into that hook, line, and sinker.
And Doc will reach out, put his hand on Owen's shoulder, and say, "It's only a mistake if you don't learn from it."
Just seems so damn charming. Your clothes were so nice. I just imagine what adventurers are always like in the books. They're so romantic and wonderful and over the top.
The truth is, friend, real adventurers don't need to brag about their deeds. They demonstrate them regularly. I knew they were frauds when I caught them cheating. I knew they were liars from the stories they told, different every single night. And most of all, I knew they were cowards when they would not stand up and make a demonstration of me in front of the entire group. I exposed them, but it's up to you whether or not you choose to see it. I hope now that you'll see this in the future when these situations present themselves. And for the record, true warriors don't have nice clothing. They may have expensive armor, but if it is untouched and untainted by battle, then they have done none.
Well, I found some of their things left behind. It seems that they were unsharpened blades. I think they were more performers. They were anything else. So, you all are a few days out from Waterdeep. What sort of thoughts do you have moving forward?
Given Tynus is actually from Waterdeep, what sort of uh, general knowledge should I expect he has? Like, what's not just the common knowledge of Waterdeep, and of course the code of laws that we've already seen. Would there be any information about being a normal or a native to Waterdeep that he would have, or that I as a player should expect him to have?
Um, Depends what you're getting at.
Um, More or less just like uh naturally he'll know the city because he's from there, or at least the parts of it that he frequented. Um, uh, yeah, it was more like as someone who's born and raised in a city, there are certain sort of general understandings that someone who isn't from there might not know. And I was wondering, should I expect Tynus to have those kinds of understandings about Waterdeep?
Waterdeep is the New York City of the Forgotten Realms. So, what are you trying to know? You're still going to be like everybody else. If you need to bring in knowledge, you still have to ask me what you are trying to know. You
Cool.
should have a better understanding of the Code Legal and perhaps not break any of those laws. But other than the way criminality is handled inside of Waterdeep, with every single character, regardless of what you need, you still have to ask me for those things because I set a different DC. But in the long run, like, you could be 60 years in Waterdeep and not experience a fraction of that city.
Cool, cool. So I can just treat it like a normal player would. All right.
Yeah.
That was basically what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah. As a cleric, you probably spent most of your time inside of a chapel of Lathander, perhaps in libraries, perhaps in this or that, but it doesn't mean that you know everything about the city.
Cool. Also, could he run into his old chapter while in there? Like, that's me as a player asking. I think it'd be kind of cool for him to like see his old peoples.
I mean, there's no reason that you can't visit the Temple of Lathander.
Would they be any more accepting of him, even given his current cursed status? I mean, I get the one in Daggerford being freaked out, but like these ones know him.
Did they know you as a vampire?
They didn't, but they knew me as a cleric.
Rest on that answer that I gave you.
I cool.
You walked
All right,
into a
then.
Temple of Lathander and you said, "Hey, look at me, I'm a vampire," and they kicked you out. So when you approach the Temple of Lathander in Waterdeep, keep that in mind.
Approach as Tynus, not as vampire. Noted. So that was just my
Anyone
general
else have
questionings.
any thoughts a few days out of Waterdeep? Sort of things that you would like to accomplish?
I don't think so in particular. I think you pretty much wrapped up all my leads.
Could Tynus talk to? Actually, we haven't gotten her name yet, as far as I know, or at least not in my notes. The halfling who joined the wagon. Those who seek to destroy knowledge, and then there was a response that I was looking for, the written down part of that.
So what's the conversation that you want to have with her?
Well, as he approaches, the first thing he's going to say is, I know my reputation may be quite poor with the group of the caravan right now, but I assure you I only approach to speak on friendly terms. I mean no harm and I mean no theft.
You might just keep your hands to yourself and perhaps find no fingers missing when you reach back unto yourself.
Yeah, he puts his hands, I guess keeps his hands where she can see him, just down at his sides, and he says, I noticed you joined us in when you joined us in Dagger Daggerford. I was wondering. what motivated you to join our caravan? Or the caravan, I guess. I'm not technically a part of it anymore.
Anyone intelligent enough doesn't travel the road alone. It's a good way to get picked off by bandits. I have business in Waterdeep to attend to.
Of course. And did you perhaps notice the strange gentleman who joined just a bit before you? And he's referencing the person who joined the caravan after speaking just a brief moment with the ones who've been keeping to themselves.
You might do best not to point around camp, but I notice many things. Wise ones don't let things happen under their nose.
Quite wise indeed. I had hoped to find one who appreciated knowledge as much as myself as I was traveling these roads and seeking some of my own. One can never have too much information, after all.
Bam, there we go. That's the line.
Ah, yes, thank you. I'm going to put that under the Harpers on this notebook.
Information is certainly valuable, and there's those of us who use it for good. Are you in the habit of stealing all things that you come across?
I don't know if I can convince you, but in truth, I am no thief. I am a failed snoop, if anything. I was looking around for some sort of uh, evidence of foul doing, as I had initially said, but unfortunately, I am not a very convincing person.
You don't have to twist tales with me. I don't mind if you're a thief. Again, just keep your hands to yourself.
And he just sort of he will nod and say, "Yes, I'm afraid shaking that label is going to be difficult for one such as myself. Uh, however, do believe I do appreciate you being willing to speak to me on these matters, and perhaps we could share information going forward. There is much to be gained here, even before we reach Waterdeep itself."
Please don't hold back.
Oh, of course. I guess the ball is in my court and the sharing. Um, but if I could, before we begin, I want to know, or I should say, I want to share with you an old proverb that I have heard echoed across the world. And I want to know, perhaps you know of it. I believe it goes, those who destroy knowledge with ink, fire, or sword. And the last line escapes me.
Kind of taps on her heart. One might find themselves destroyed were they to approach life in that way.
And yeah, he will return the gesture. I couldn't agree more. Perhaps we have more to discuss going forward, especially regarding the gentleman who joined and those he joined with in Daggerford. In these travels along this road, I have seen quite a few gentlemen of his ilk, and while my endeavors to gain knowledge have gotten me branded a thief, I have no intention of halting my endeavors.
Many will label shady practices as thievery. What have you learned about this fellow that you've been following, about the people that he joined?
For one, they seem to be continuing a very unfortunate habit of stealing from the caravans they're traveling with, almost in line with some villages, though that's only speculation on my part. However, given what I have noticed, I believe they're going about this for the same purposes as they did perhaps those heroes of greenest, as they called themselves, if you can believe that.
I've heard tales of what took place in Greenest. We have appreciated what those heroes did for that place. But the Tradesway is not a safe place. There's a reason these merchants are so quick to hire so many guards. And it's not for one or the other to be a thief. Clearly, there are many issues that can take place that are connected, and many more that have no connection at all. Be wary that you are not using your knowledge to connect dots that have no relation. Tell me, though,
Mm.
what have you learned of those people who think so nefarious?
Unfortunately, I had a direct run-in with some of their ilk in Daggerford. They seem to have infiltrated that city quite thoroughly, even being in very trusted positions within it. Though I suppose with how quickly they have been spreading these last few years, that is to be expected. Even more so, I have encountered a very dangerous individual traveling along with them, one who possesses a dark power that is potentially unrelated, but if not, incredibly devastating. A fiend who marks the neck.
And what have you learned about this creature?
More than I would like, unfortunately, and it may even be. And he will rub his neck as he says this, tainted. However, thankfully, I still have my wits about me, and it doesn't seem to be leading me towards those others. However,
Are you trying
given
to
their
hide the
connection,
fact that you are currently bit?
he's more just trying to veil it in speech. He's not trying to hide it from them
So
or her.
do a performance check.
It's a 7.
Well, I can't say that I know much about creatures from other areas of the world. I tend to know humans and the peoples of this world. But to me, it's hard to tell the difference of one group from another. If one can imagine a god made of sunlight, maybe one can imagine a dragon a god.
I am very much hoping those two are not connected in any way. Perhaps my affliction, hopefully, is one collateral situation of my own investigations. But I wish I
You
had
think
more
it
to
was a
share
god
with
who
you.
bit you?
Oh, oh no, no. Oh no, not at all. This, or maybe, I truly hope not. It was able to invade my sleep quite easily, though gods are not the only beings able to do that. For now, I don't know much about this. I was attempting to learn more when I was apprehended by those fellows in Daggerford.
They came out to you that they were members of this organization that you're searching after?
Indeed, they did. They made no uncertain terms about it, unfortunately, and I had to fight my way out. Not many of them survived, but I made it back.
You fought out.
Believe it or not, the affliction I'm suffering is quite a bit more powerful than I expected. I wouldn't pull it on myself to have done so.
Perhaps you are more interesting than it seems. Continue.
For now, I have more research to do before I can deliver any greater bits of information beyond just to, well, you already are doing so. So I don't believe I need to tell you to watch those individuals. And I am working with 3 others. Uh,
Don't point them out.
oh, I won't. I've at least learned that much. But know that there are others in this caravan that are trustworthy, and I can attest to that with my life.
She pats like her left breast as she like taps essentially where people assume the heart is.
He will actually. Dang it, my notes on the Harper's on another page, or in another book. Unfortunately, I'll have to find it. But for now, he will return the gesture and just sort of go back to following the caravan at a distance, or not at a distance, but more or less keeping out of other people's way, as he knows he's not particularly liked.
Anybody else have any thoughts about anything they would like to accomplish in the next few days?
Did I get any more information from Solomon at all? Do I have the option to find out anything else useful about the Dragon Cult or anything?
You can most certainly chat him up at any point. Describe what sort of situation you would like to chat with him in, and let me know what you say to him.
So I guess just like in an evening session or whatever, after the heroes are gone and we've done battle and all that stuff, just kind of like cut up with them at the campfire, with the flask and smoke, and just sort of bring up some friendly conversation when it's later in the night and more discreetly, like just the two of us or whatever. So you had spoken of some possible leads on the Dragon Cult. Did you find out anything useful as to who amongst us may be affiliated? Have any inclinations of your own?
Well, we are well aware that they're more active than they've been, and that much of their activity at present is focused on the tradeway. There's suspicious people for sure, but I'm less inclined to investigate too much further than keeping an eye, and I think most of this caravan believes that I was buried for an adultery sort of oathbreaker. I don't intend to give anybody that chance to kill me again.
I don't blame you, friend. And out of curiosity, what will you do once we do arrive in Waterdeep? What goals will you pursue, or missions, objectives?
My information will disseminate to me through its courses. I don't doubt that I may be given a new task, but if I am fortunate, it would be nice to stay in the City of Splendor. Though we all have to wonder at this point if new rule is to take over the Sword Coast. A place so wonderful as Waterdeep will remain a splendor upon the world. It seems it would be destined to fall among the first.
Yes, no doubt. Shiny things attract good and bad, but they attract nonetheless. Well, keep me in mind once we arrive, and should you need any services, assistance, or just a good drinking buddy, you let me know, friend.
I must admit I was able to acquire all the funds that I would need from the Sword Coast Adventurers Bank in Daggerford, but I appreciate any other reaching out that you might have. Perhaps towards the future we might find each other along courses of this world. It will be much to wonder how the flow of time will develop things, but perhaps. For me, myself, I don't know where I will actually be sent. I do wish for a respite after all of this. Not sure I'd like to travel that road again.
Don't have to tell me twice. And I'll just take a shot and, offer one to him. And then I think that's pretty much it. If there's nothing useful I can get from him.
No, I mean, in essence, he was somebody for you to show your mettle saving his life. The little bits that you were rewarded were for that. He's not really a font of knowledge. More or less, it's still one of those things where most of this was presented for you all to develop how you'd like to. But in the end, most of his knowledge is confirming things that you all know. The increased activity of the cult in this area. The world-changing effects that they seem to be attempting to bring about. But he's not necessarily somebody who's going to be an information dump. So, let's see. I'd say probably about 3 days after that. So I think we're looking at Uktar the 25th. You all would be outside of Waterdeep, starting to see the mountain on the horizon probably yesterday. So you're probably 2 or so days from Waterdeep, maybe 3. The caravan would wake up to a shriek as one of the carts is yelling and screaming, "Somebody has been murdered in the night."
Oh man. Normally I would just have Tynus go to that, but at this point he might get blamed for it. So he's gonna watch from a distance and try to see if who he can see is shrieking and what cart this is all happening around.
Yeah, Doc will do his usual sort of random investigation.
Vicious will walk over.
What are your thoughts as you walk over, Vicious? What would you like to...
I'm just gonna see what's going on. Is this a person who was a wagon person? Obviously, probably. What the deal is.
you see a somewhat fine-looking fellow who's draped with some furs across his shoulders. He's kind of looking down at this person on the ground. Seems to have had their skull bashed in by a mace. My driver has been murdered. Whoever it is has infiltrated our camp and no doubt was caught going through my things. Vile, treacherous folk who have joined this. And you'll see as he starts to glance around before eventually seeing where Tynus is. I bet that's the one who did it, the bloody thief.
I knew it, dang it. I'm loving this.
Any thoughts when he points to Tynus, Vicious?
I don't think it was probably him. He doesn't have any kind of weapon that looks like it could bash something in.
He's got a mace hanging from his belt. What is wrong with your eyes, Orc? Or maybe it was you. You seem to carry a pretty similar weapon yourself. Care to hold that up so we can see. Have you been bashing any skulls in? Any brain matter left on your maul there?
No, I was over at my wagon.
Can anybody back up your story? Seems awfully suspicious that you would be coming back. I've often heard the criminal returns to the scene of the crime.
You yelled that there was a murder, so I thought it'd be worth looking to see if what was happening over here.
Hand me your mace. Let me see this maul that you carry. Are you... Let me see that, please.
Okay. Nothing wrong with it.
Describe your maul to me, Vicious.
Well, I always thought that it looked kind of like a crab mallet, being as how that's where I'm from. It's a large. It's got a very long handle, and it's got a kind of like a judge's gavel.
No, this doesn't look like what done him in. It seems perhaps a smaller head. This doesn't seem to be it. It's too easy to blame an orc. Maybe somebody was trying to frame the orc. It's definitely that one there. I saw him not long ago. He was going through everybody's wagons when those demons attacked us. Clearly he's some sort of criminal, and we should string him up now and be done with that one.
Ooh.
Seems like a bad idea considering how few people are left here after that attack.
Do you imagine that he was the one who called them down? I actually heard him chanting that night. I heard him call them down. Clearly he's some sort of vicious cultist. Seems somebody
Now
did
you're
hear him.
getting way extreme.
What was that? My bad, I didn't hear that.
Sir, you're getting very, very extreme here. I understand that this is a worrisome situation, but
Demons don't just come into this earth. They can't pass through the plains. Somebody has to call them. That one doesn't even have color in their flesh. Clearly they are abhorrent to the daylight. They are some sort of fiend themselves. I know it. I heard them chanting. I heard him chanting too. I heard him chanting. They turned me into a newt.
Oh God, the mob.
uh,
Everybody is surrounding Tynus.
All right. Tynus will be backing away and saying, "Listen, I can 100% confirm I had nothing to do with that. I know a spell that will make me incapable of lies. Allow me to prove myself not guilty, please."
Don't let him cast anything. Clearly he's going to bring more of those demons down upon us. Give us your mace. Prove your innocence by showing us you couldn't have killed this person.
He will gladly hand over the maul. It's never been used.
The person takes it from you, walks back to the corpse of the person dead, and as they set it up next to the head, the shape matches the concave fragment in the skull that has been smashed in. Describe your mace to me, Tynus.
This one was just a sort of commonplace mace that anyone could have found. Normal silver. He got rid of the one, or he stowed the one that was shaped like the sun. So this is oh yeah, this is a flail. I forgot. He has a flail now. So wooden handle, chain, and then 3 spinny balls to make a flail kind of thing.
As they move the weighted end of the flail up to the body, you see somebody take it by that ball end and where they place it in, there's 2 puncture wounds where 2 of the spikes on the ball meet up almost exactly to where the wounds are on the skull. Clearly it was him. This matches this. This is clearly the murder weapon.
It isn't. I've never even used that weapon. You can tell it's in pristine condition.
He could have
It's
cleaned
never
it.
seen combat.
I've heard of magic where people can clean things with their hands. I can clean things with my hands. It's called water and soap. Yeah, but magic! He turned me into a newt!
I didn't turn anyone into anything. I can't do that.
I got
Again.
better.
God damn it, Monty Python. Again, I have done no such thing. I was accused of stealing by those, and I've done nothing. I can
Somebody chain him up.
100% prove
He's a
myself.
thief and a murderer. He can't be allowed to journey with us.
Yeah, Titus is gonna. I guess no. Running is. Yes, Titus has to run. There's no way he's good enough to convince these people.
They're surrounding you. You've got nowhere to run.
Titus will say, "Please, just give me the opportunity to clear myself of any wrongdoing. I will submit myself to any test. I can 100% prove my innocence."
I don't believe you'll find anybody here who cares to let you go casting any sort of spells, especially if you are the one who brought these demons down. Perhaps this one here was the one who witnessed you calling them for a fact, and that's why you ran them through. And you see as this tall human kind of steps out from the shadows, and this would be the first time that anybody has seen this person speak. And they just kind of calmly step into this group that's surrounding Tinus. Now, if this man is a murderer, perhaps the best choice is to chain him up. We can bring him to justice within Waterdeep. But there is no need to murder him here on the spot, or you all would be just as guilty as his.
Ooh, Tinus will look over this person. Do they have a mace? Or,
He
That'd be
doesn't seem
dumb.
to carry any weapons at all.
Yeah, of course not. You told me about this. This is them framing him for murder. Yeah, this is that. All right. Did I have
Well, you would have been framed for a murder in Daggerford as well. The cultists there framed you for murder, and that's what they put you in jail for.
Right. Well, good thing they don't know about that. So Tinus will say there must be other magic casters within this large caravan. Someone else who could perform the spell. But I have done no such murder. I swear. And I will swear on my oath.
The word of a thief means nothing.
I am no thief either.
I saw him try to pickpocket one of those heroes of Greenest.
They were criminals, and I didn't try to pickpocket anyone. I merely tripped while walking past.
Like a pickpocket would. He turned me into a newt.
I turned no one into a newt. That's not even something I can do. Even with my magic, I can't do that. Tinus getting specifically aggressive with that person. Please, there must be someone here able to cast the spell, Zone of Truth. I would submit myself to such a test. I know I'm telling no lies.
Don't let him cast anything.
I will do no casting. I'm speaking of other magic casters. There are other magic casters in this caravan, yes? And he will just look around to anyone else. Just anyone? Offer me the chance to prove myself innocent.
There's no need for us to take any level of court proceedings here. If you would be willing, I could certainly attempt to delve into your mind and grab the truth from within.
This is that person, the one.
This is the tall, silent figure.
I do not trust them in my brain. um,
What could
Tinus,
possibly go wrong?
man, I shouldn't have said that earlier. Ah, are you capable of casting magic then?
I have sources of delving into the thoughts of some, those who are open to it. I could certainly see the scene at which you murdered this person, or didn't, if that were the case.
If you have such magics, you should be able to cast a simple truth spell. No need for mind delving, just a spell that will compel me to speak only truth.
It's not surprising that one who would dedicate himself to a god might believe that that is the only sort of magic there is.
Well, of course, but I. It's hard to say I don't trust you in this situation. Guys, oh, God. Yeah, you know what?
Do you call out to the
This is
party?
no implicating them. That
You
is
said
not going to do that.
guys. You seemed a little exasperated as you called
Nah,
out for your party.
I smacked the ground and said, "Gods, gods."
So can Doc sense motive of the tall
I can't.
figure and then also of Tinus if he thinks this could have possibly been him?
Like you want to insight check the two of them?
Yeah. Basically, see, like, I want to insight check Tinus to see if it seems like he's telling the truth, and then I want to insight check the tall guy who's trying to delve into his mind to see, like, do I get an idea of his motive?
So I think do an insight first for Tinus on me, and then you can do one for the tall figure.
All right, I want to use a luck point on the tall figure.
And then Tinus, let's see. Let's have you do. I think either persuasion or. No, I think right now you're being deceptive in general. So do deception.
Ooh, not my best roll. Yeah, that's a 3. He's not being very deceptive at all, or he's not convincingly deceptive.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what's going on with Tinus. You've already had doubts about these last few weeks, or I guess it's this last 10 day, so this last week of what's been going on with him since the spider bite. So it's really difficult for you to interpret what is going on here. But he seems clearly to be fumbling and kind of exasperated behind this idea that not only is he a thief in the eyes of this caravan, but he's now being kind of rounded up as a murderer as well. And it seems all very fishy to you, but it's not necessarily unbelievable. As far as the figure goes, it seems like he's stepping forward purely as a keeper of the peace, trying to calm the people who seem to be surrounding Tinus, and that he's stepped forward only because of how heated this moment is getting and trying to avoid, probably from your perspective, what very quickly steps over a cliff and can't be undone.
Tinus does not trust this figure, but
I have not the power to enter your mind if you don't care to let me in. But if you care to profess your innocence to these people, I believe, and he looks around at everybody, I believe we can all rest assured that your innocence might be a little bit more believable were I able to tap into those memories.
ew, this is a bad situation. All right. Yeah, I can't really see a way out of this. Um, I will submit myself to trial in Waterdeep. You may bind me and hold me here.
I told you he's guilty. He won't even let that person reach into his memories.
I gladly accept trial and judgment in Waterdeep.
We should
This
drown
was
him
our
now.
Doc will step forward and say, if we're to bind this one based on proofless accusations, then we will bind you as well. And he'll point to the owner of the caravan whose driver was murdered. For you have just as much to gain with his murder not to have to pay your debts after such a long trip. Convenient that he should die before his wages are received for the journey.
Why would I murder the driver of my wagon? I need him to drive this wagon the rest of the way. We're going to be stranded here without the driver to hold this team and be able to make it. Would it not make more sense to do something after the fact? I carry no weapons. Clearly this absurdity is out of control. You are all mad.
I agree. This absurdity is out of control, but if we are to start with the senseless accusations, then we will look to those who are most likely to have murdered him, and that would be those that would be potentially indebted to him for his services. I'm sure you're not going to just leave your wagon out here so close to Waterdeep. I have a feeling you could probably figure out a way to get it there for a little less coin and have one less debt to pay. So if we're going to point out senseless accusations, then I think I'll have a couple as well.
Let me have you make a deception check.
All right, I'm going to use one more luck point on that.
Save it. I'm not gonna let you re-roll a one right
Okay.
now. I believe I've seen those two speaking in the past. They might be working as a team. We can't trust somebody like this. The wagon owner, he's done nothing. He carries no weapons. And that one's mace fits into the hole in this one's skull. Clearly there's something fishy here. We can't be trusting these people.
So with that accusation, Doc will pull a couple daggers out and say, "You would dare to accuse me? You point your finger at me and accuse me of this, and it will cost you your life." And I'm going with intimidation.
You can do an intimidation at disadvantage. Somebody's already been murdered here. There's no need to take it to more blows. Perhaps we've made it safe enough that now is the time that things should separate the criminals from those who live a just life.
I submit myself to trial in water. And he will go down on his knees as if ready to be tied up.
And somebody will come forward and tie Tynus up. Caravan is going to separate into a few different groups, many of them abandoning Tynus and Doc to a separate locale. Most will not be interested in traveling with the two of you. There's going to be another day of travel before things, before the wagons start to make it to the south gate of Waterdeep.